Eyewitness to History. Eyewitness to History by the Folio Society. This is 4 big books by the Folio Society bound in buckram that cover different periods of history. And all the pieces in here, all the bits and pieces that I'll show you in a second, are all from eyewitness accounts. That is, there's no historian talking about it afterwards. All the writings are from people who were actually there. So let's have a look at an example. So it's bound in buckram. These pieces are cut out. Let's have a look at this one here. This is In Our Time. And if we just, well, let's have a look at the table of contents to give you an idea of what we're talking about. So here's the Great War, how it began. Christmas truce, returning from Egypt. These are all people who wrote either articles, letters, diary entries, but it was all people who were actually there talking about what they saw, who they spoke with, who they interviewed. So, and then what happens is they give you a little bit of, in italics, gives you a little bit of what's happening. Who is this person? What was happening at this time? And then you read the actual text from that person at that time. This is the war in Italy. Opening salvos. This is World War II here. The story of this is about Dunkirk. But it's someone writing about their own experiences at that time. And again, it's also, I should say, it's not only people who were there, but people writing at the time that they were there. So it's not, thinking back on it 20 years later. It has a, looking for it, there we go, images. This is the bombing of Dresden, which was atrocious and devastating. Let's have a look at one of the other ones. Like an earlier one. Actually, let's see, maybe we can get them all out. You can see the gist. So this is the very, very earliest, as you can see by the kinds of tools that they're using. We have Discovering New Worlds, Empire and After, and this is In Our Time. Let's say if we wanted to look at Discovering New Worlds. Crusades, a medieval flowering, Second and Third Crusades. These are some of the 100 Years' Wars. 100 years, well, it's a 100 Years' War, but it was a series of wars, wasn't it? Joan of Arc. Of course, they don't have photos from that time, but they do have other kinds of imagery. The Siege and Capture of Constantinople. 1453. And again, we have someone who, they have a little bit of an intro, and then we have his actual writing about his time. I love these books. Maybe it's obvious, but I haven't read them straight through, one after the other, but I absolutely get, have some interest, open it up, and try to find something about it. Or I open it up sort of at randomly. I love them. So this is Eyewitness to History, put out by the Folio Society.